Got a flock of geese out there. Keep our eyes open for that thing.
You already make the call? I thought I heard
did. Yeah, I did make the call. You want to run the radios today?
If I can.
Okay, alright. You do the radios.
Alright.
Normal takeoff, we'll rotate about 60. Climb out at initially at 70 and then accelerating on to 80. So start a gentle rotation at 60, keep it just straight with the runway, there you go. Let it fly off, you don't have to, there you go. Now let's lower the nose, let it accelerate past 80. A little bit of right, yeah, you got it good. I was starting to tell you needed right ready, but you don't. Past 500 feet, lower the nose just a little bit, but you're almost to 90 anyway, so that looks good. We'll continue, we'll do a straight out departure here, and then when we get outside of the traffic pattern area, we'll make our turn towards the north, head out to the north practice area.
Okay.
Good job on the takeoff rudder control today.
Oh, we got wobbly once.
Brooklyn traffic QI 549 Metroliner, 25 miles to the west, bound for straight in, 12 North Platte.
Did you say North Platte or Scotts Bluff?
I think he said Scotts Bluff. Straight in for 12.
Yeah, okay.
But he said 25 miles.
Yeah. Oh, why it'd be 25 miles to the west of Scotts Bluff. I think he's at North Platte. They have the same frequency.
North Platte does?
Yeah.
And Alliance?
And Alliance.
Same frequency?
Yep.
That's awesome.
If he was 25 miles to the west, we would be able to hear him. For him to be doing a straight in for runway 12. Okay, alright, we're going to make a turn to the north. Then you climb up to 6,500 feet. Altitude indicator looks like it's working, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a loaner attitude indicator that's in there. The one that we'd gotten before this didn't work. We wouldn't quite ever go fully erect, so it just send it out for repair too.
I didn't turn that on.
It was.
Was it left on from last night?
Yeah, it is left on. We normally leave it on because of what that clicking sound was I was just hearing. So
I just assumed to leave all the lights on.
yeah, we'll leave the lights off for now. I'm going to go ahead and turn this other radio off just to save some electricity. So we'll turn it off now too. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Squat's not working now. Huh. That's odd.
It's a feature.
I wonder if it's a voltage issue. Oh well. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I can see volume control is not even working on it now. Huh. Okay, level south of 6,500 feet. Bring a little bit of power off so you can just slow your RPMs down just a little bit. That'll help the tube to stop from climbing a little bit. There you go, that's good. All right. Still a little bit of thermals, but not a big deal.
Yep.
Let's do a couple of clearing turns, and then we'll do some steep turns. Go ahead and do a couple of stalls. We're gonna make sure you got those nailed down.
Okay.
So we'll do 90 degrees to the left. Looking high, looking low.
You want to go all the way around, or?
No, we just go 90 degrees.
Okay.
Looking high, low, and then we'll go back to the north. Turn back to the north now, and that's our clearing turn. What we're doing is we're clearing the area, getting a good visual on everything around us so we know whether or not there's other traffic around. And also, too, looking for flocks of geese or whatever. Not too many left now. They've all moved on north, but for the most part, there's still a few around. And we don't want to see any of them up close and personal.
Nope, not so much.
Okay. All right. Well, when you're ready, got 110, 115, that's pretty close. Go ahead and give me a steep turn all the way around to the left, a 360-degree turn. You can use that clump of trees out there as your visual reference point. See out there where that farm is?
Yep. Okay.
All right, so do a last look. Make sure nobody's there. Steep turn all the way around. Maintain 6,500 feet and hold the 110 mile per hour, which means you have to give it just a little bit of power. Add some back pressure as you're going through the steep turn. There you go. 45 degrees of bank. Now that we have a attitude indicator, a little more bank. You're at 30. So halfway between that one and the next one is 45. So this is 30, the next big line is 60, and then 90.
Gotcha.
So between 30 and 60, but we're descending, so keep us level. There you go. Then when your clump of trees coming back into sight, just go wings level. There you go. Here, before you start your right turn, let's climb. That's okay. We'll just do it from 6,300, okay? Roll right into one to the right. So maintain 6,300 feet this time all the way around. And of course, when you start it, give it about 100 RPM of power. Use your rudder. Make sure you're nice and coordinated. We're looking for 45 degrees of bank. Looking for your reference point coming around here. There it is. So you start to gradually roll wings level at the same time releasing that back pressure so you don't just flare up at the end. Alright. Very good. And we'll work on those some more with a little bit steeper bank angle. We weren't quite 45 degrees, but that's okay. Kind of getting the feel for the airplane again today. So, good. Alright, now, stay on this heading and go ahead and slow this thing up and demonstrate for me a clean stall. In other words, no flaps, just a clean power off stall. Hold the 6,500 feet so as you bring the power back, pull the carb heat on, continue to pull the power all the way to idle, hold the 6,500 feet. And just hold that nose, keep yourself straight, keep it good and coordinated. There you go, nice. And at the first indication of the stall, do the recovery, which means a reduction in the angle of attack. That means lift the nose. I didn't feel no stall.
I just felt a little bit of the we were just going to stand away.
Alright, okay.
You want to do it again?
Nope, go ahead and do your recovery. Oops.
Oh, sorry, I did that again.
Kind of in a bad spot, isn't it? Okay, climb us back up to 6,500 feet. Okay. And while holding this heading again, go ahead and start slowing us down, but this time do it with a full flaps. A full flap stall. So gently pull up the first notch. Now go ahead and bring in the second notch. Okay. Bring the power to idle, carb heat on. Holding altitude here as long as you possibly can, keeping it coordinated. Looking Good. And it's just squashing down. So we'll call out the stall. Go ahead and lower the nose. Bring in full power. Carburetor heat on. And then gently ease the flaps up. Nice. Okay. Alright, climb this back up to 6,500 feet. And let's go ahead and do a 180-degree turn back around to the south. We'll use that as a clearing turn, and then we'll get ourselves set up for doing a power on stall. Looking high, looking low, not seeing anything. I don't want to look straight at the sun, so let's go a little bit farther southwest. There we go. Alright. Okay, lower the nose just briefly so we can see what's in front of us. And we'll bring the power on just to get us slowed up. Hold the altitude here. And we get under, down close to 70, bring in full power, so hold altitude, bring in full power and pull it up until we get the stall. Keep it nice and coordinated the whole time, because you're going to have full power in and slow speed, so it means it's going to want to pull to the left. Okay. So just really watch that. Keep the nose up there. We're descending though. Okay, we're close enough. Go ahead, bring in full power, pull that nose up. Full power, right rudder, pull the nose up, higher, 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 and the recovery from this is going to be, there it is, lower the nose, that was the stall, just lower the nose, there you go, and then you just fly right out of it. Nice. The nice thing about a power on stall, the only thing you can do for the recovery is just lower the nose. Reduce that angle of attack. Okay. Very good. Now we're just going to simulate an engine failure. We'll keep the engine running. Alright, so, and we just double check, we can go through our checklist and double check our, and I don't have any emergency stuff on that checklist. But, thank you. With power off, a little bit of left rudder, there you go. And we're looking for 85. For our best glide speed. And in the meantime, while we're doing our checklist, which is checking our fuel, checking our mags, checking the ignition, checking everything, checking the carb heat, we might pull it on briefly, shut it off to see if that solved the problem, if we had carb ice issue, whatever. Anyway, we're checking our primer, because if that thing had popped out, that could flood the engine out. And but in the meantime, you trim this thing up for 85, so you don't have to hold on to it, and you're looking for an emergency landing site. And you got lots of fields out here, lots of possibilities.
Look for one with the least amount of bumps.
Yeah. You see a bunch of cattle over here headed towards that water hole. But that looks like a decent little pasture. Sometimes these pastures look pretty good from up here, and then you get down close, you're going, oh crud.
Yeah, towers over there.
Yep. But that's about all the options you've got here is just pasture anyway, so.
Yeah.
Just set yourself up, kind of headed up into the levelest place. Don't get slow though. Keep it at 85. So keep that nose down. There you go. You hold that 85 all the way until you get real low, and then what you do is you come in getting ready, then you would bring in flaps and everything and let it start slowing up, but that's only when you're about ready to touch down.
Okay.
Okay, alright, bring in the power. Full power, carb heat on. You've been able to survive it. Lower the nose, we don't want to stall out here. Right rudder, you got full power in there. There you go. Lower the nose. We need 85, 90. There you go. There you go.
More electric lines.
Yeah, power line over there, yep. But that would have been a good, that actually worked out pretty good there. Alright. Alright. Stop us at 5,000 feet. Maybe a little bit higher. Let's go a little bit higher. Match there. We're going to do some of these, try some of these S-turns or rectangular patterns. Maybe we'll start off with an S-turn. We can use that power line.
This one right here?
Yeah. Or the fence line. That power line's pretty long. Yeah, I like that power line.
Over there?
Yeah. Let's go out here and assume that the wind's out of the west. If there is any wind. And there doesn't look like there's any wind. All these maneuvers, we enter those on the down to 5,000 feet. Level on 5,000 feet.
I'm sorry, I thought you said go a little higher.
Yeah.
My bad.
That's okay. I probably did say go a little bit higher. Stay here at 5,300. That should work. Okay. Let's turn around and head back towards that power line now. And bring some power off so we're not going screaming fast. 2,300 RPM looks good. Keep an eye on where that tower is. We don't want to get too close to it. Okay. And as we cross over the power line, perpendicular to it, we'll start right into our turn, whichever direction you want to go with this. You want to go north or you want to go south? Either way, whatever you want to do. Okay, so immediately as soon as we cross over it, start a turn. Nice and gentle. Keeping it nice and coordinated. And you're looking at your reference point out there, maintaining 50, okay, we're at 5,400 feet, so don't get any higher. Stay at 5,400 feet. And then you just judge your bank angle based off of your distance away from that power line. So that when you come back across that power line, you go wings level right when you cross the power line.
A little bit early.
Okay, so go wings level. Use your rudder to help you with that changing and your bank angle. Okay, we cross the A-line, or the power lines, start right into our next turn. Now this time, you can see you're going to be pretty tight, so you're going to have to keep the tight turn going.
Yep.
Yep. So keep that nose up. Don't let the nose drop on you. So crank it on around here. And the wings level. So start right into the right one. Use your rudder to help you with your turns. Alright, so you're using a little steeper angle this time so that you can keep me closer to it. And as you cross over it, we must have a little bit of a wing because there was definitely a difference there. Okay, now start shallowing it out. You don't want to go wings level too early. Okay. Alright, we'll make an adjustment for it next time. Now, as we start the turn this time, better keep it gentle, real shallow bank. That way it lets you get down here farther away from it so you can complete your turn before you cross over it. That means that the wind is a little bit out of the west. Okay. So as our ground speed starts to pick up, we'll have to increase our bank angle.
It's out of the northwest.
Is it?
Feels.
Okay. Kind of pushing you at an angle. Okay. Increase your bank angle. Keep it going. Oh, went up.
Still
Look at that.
moving up.
Crooked with it. There you go.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead and start the turn to the other direction. This is something you can do when you're solo and you come out here do practice stuff. Practice these kind of maneuvers. And keeping it real coordinated, doing the turns about a point, the rectangular pattern. Those are all things that you work on when you're coming out to the practice area solo. Because the goal is
too early.
Yeah, we were just a little bit early. Let's go back the other direction. Oh, well, we can keep going. Those power lines keep going. So see, as we're leaving a shallow bank angle here, that allows us to get a little bit farther away from it so we can complete our turn. There you go. Nice. Boom, right across it. Go right into the next one. Do a little steeper bank angle to start with.
Rolling area traffic. Cessna 7886. Remember,
Goodness gracious.
still too early.
So what are you going to do to adjust for that?
Sharper bank earlier.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a westerly wind, I guess.
That's wreaking havoc on you. There you go, and as your ground speed slows down, shallow that out so that you can go back wings level right when you cross over it and be exactly perpendicular to it.
Sorry, it started going up.
There you go. That's why we practice those steep turns. Alright, let's go back in our practice area. We're getting in too close. And we need to find a couple of rectangles so we can practice a little rectangle action. Sometimes I go out here just into the farm ground out there to fly just a section of ground. Because out here, this is one thing, it's a little bit harder to come with rectangles out here. Yeah, give me tell you what, see that clump of trees over there?
Yep.
Fly for that, I'll use that as a reference point and just do some turns about the point there.
Okay.
Using those trees. So you're going to set yourself up, say, a quarter of a mile of those things when you go by it, and then as soon as you go by it, start your turn, and then just maintain that same distance all the way around it.
Okay.
Okay? So your bank angle is going to vary depending on your ground speed.
Right.
And we need to be a little bit lower, a little closer to it. So we'll go back down to 5,300 feet. That looked pretty good before. So where's this power line? Okay, there's those two towers are over there. Alright. So use that clump of trees right there.
Yeah, this one right here, right?
Yeah, that way we'll stay away from those towers. And descending down to 5,300 feet. So we can be stabilized when we start this thing. Okay, this is plenty far out. Get a little bit tighter, a little bit closer to it. No, closer
Oh,
to
you
it.
want to go? Okay, I'm sorry.
A little closer
I misunderstood
to it.
what you said.
Okay. Okay. Be targeting for 5,300 feet. Bring the power back in just a hair. Okay, yeah, now maintain this distance away from the trees. Or the windmill, whichever one you want to use there. Use the windmill. Okay, so you're use your rudder control. Keep that thing coordinated. There you go. Yep, this is a good distance and a good altitude. So we're probably only about 700 feet above the ground. This is kind of up on the ridge out here. You can see as we got a little bit closer to that, right there, we need to do a little bit steeper bank angle. There you go. One thing about a high wing is sometimes when you lose track of your reference point.
Yeah.
There's one nice thing if you use where some fence lines crisscross each other.
Yeah.
You can kind of use the fence line itself as to help you know where your reference point is. So shallow out your bank angle so you don't get closer to it. As our ground speed slowed up. Well, at least the windmill shows us that the wind is blowing. Keep it coordinated, little right rudder. There you go. Wish we were going a little bit slow here. Some more power.
Yeah. Not compensating enough for that whatever wind is up here.
Oh, they've got that thing technically shut off. Okay, increase that bank angle. There you go. 5 There you are. Okay, now we're going to start to slow down a little bit so we shallow out the bank angle. Nice. As our ground speed slows up. And you know that as you come around here and once our ground speed does start to pick up a little bit, we'll increase that bank angle to make it on around. But it's really good. You're doing a nice job. Okay, this is where you're going to have to start increasing your bank angle to keep from getting blown away from the windmill. And hold your nose up though, because as you increase the bank angle, you got to add a little bit of back pressure to keep from descending, don't you? There you go, nice. There, that looks good. As we come back into the wind, reduce that bank angle. Holy cow, that looks good. I hate it when they do that last call nonsense. Good job. Yeah, that looks good.
That one felt better anyway.
Yeah, no, that looking real good. Alright. Set towards the metro over there. Go down that direction, let's find a section of ground we can do a rectangular pattern on. Fence lines are not consistent enough out here to use any of those for a rectangle. And staying up on the edge of the valley, there's fewer houses. Try not to do too much over a bunch of farmhouses. Try not to make them nervous. Because when we're doing ground reference stuff, we end up down, under 1,000 feet. Now, in a unpopulated area, what's the rule? Basically, just 500 feet away from persons or property.
Okay.
In the populated area, though, it's 1,000 feet above the nearest obstacle within 2,000-foot radius. So we need to make sure that we stay up high, except for takeoff and landing. So obviously, they're right there by the airport where we're taking off and landing. There's nothing you can do about being low over those houses. That's the risk they take when they buy a house that's within the traffic pattern area. All these cities just bugs me to no end. Why these cities are, that people migrate out around the airport, and then they complain about the noise, and they complain about the low flying aircraft and everything, and get active politically and force the airport out of the area.
Yep, nope, I agree.
And they move them out of town, and what happens? Everybody migrates out around the airport again.
There's an airport in Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah?
It's trying to, in Craigfield.
Yeah.
Out there, they've been trying to expand that runway for 15 years, but
can't because of the...
Anything on your leg?
Nope. Yeah, my wife was a little ticked off at me with my pants were soaked in oil right there. I don't know if she was able to get that out or not. I was wearing dress slacks then, so. Alright. Another thing too, some of these larger pivots, they kind of make good little turns around the point. Because then you can really see exactly where you are distance-wise away from your pivot point. Okay. Now we got this big green roof building right down here in front of us.
Yep.
Just beyond it, you see all those trees?
Yep.
And then there's that county road heading south.
Yep.
Follow that county road, and then when we find a crossroad, we'll turn and follow that crossroad over and then come back up this county road.
Okay.
Whichever county road these are. So, and what I want you to do is looking out your window, you see your tire there. Yeah, you can see your tire. Barely.
Barely.
Anyway, or a position on your strut. Anyway, set it right on the road. So you're going to change your heading just a little bit, very little bit, based off of your ground, the way the wind's pushing you. So maintain that road cutting right through that exact same spot. So we're going to develop a nice rectangle. While I'm thinking about it. And let's switch fuel tanks. I won't mess with nothing. But just like we learned before, if the engine were to quit, go back. Go back. That'd be the last thing you did. So. Okay, so set that county road right on that. Just outboard of your tire or something, a reference point that you can watch. Oh yeah, you can see as we're looking out here, you can see we're flying at a little bit of an angle, aren't we?
Yep.
So there's some wind at this, and we're probably 1,200 feet, 1,200 feet above the ground. Nice and smooth though, I'm kind of surprised it's this smooth. Okay, so see this crossroad here. Let's go down to the next one, turn, follow that over, follow the line back, and then we can do a nice big rectangle.
Okay.
That way we can see some of the variations in the way the wind's pushing us. Yeah, on the days when the wind's howling out here at 40, 50 mile an hour, that'll be a time to do some of these too, where you can really see a massive change. That feedlot right over there, behind your left shoulder there. My son's working over there right now. That's the Sioux County feeders. Okay, follow that same line. See how the wind changes things on you. And then start the turn to follow the road that direction. If the wind's pushing it where the ground speed's higher, then you got to make a steeper bank angle to keep from overshooting it. You can see we've kind of got angled a little bit to the west, so we've got a little bit of wind up here.
Yep.
Nice. Man, it's nice and smooth out.
Yeah.
Shoot. There, get to this road. Make your turn. Making it look easy. And by doing this too, pulling around, you can determine exactly what direction the wind is coming from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see how that wind's pushing us over the road? But see, that's the same thing you've got to do in the traffic pattern. When you're on the downwind, you're going to compensate. You're not going to be exactly lined up, downwind with the runway. If the wind is blowing off to one side, you're going to have a little bit of a crab going. Same way when you're turning your base, you're going to have a little crab going. And even on final, maintain the crab until you get down ready to touch down. Then you use your rudder to straighten yourself out the runway and then come on in and land. There you go. Nice. Nice. Okay, good. Take me back to the airport. We'll do some practice stuff. Looks like it's going to be primarily normal landings today. Down low, even looking at the dust and stuff blowing around here.
Yeah.
See, there's much wind at all down low. One thing along the highway, there's one tall tower. Oh, it's right over there on that knoll. That thing's about, let's look at the map again. I forgot how tall that thing was, but it seems like it's almost, the top of it's almost 5,000 feet, so.
Right. Yeah, I see it right there.
Yeah, I see it over there. that the airport say?
Yep. In front of us.
Looking straight down the runway, aren't you? Okay, tell you what, so we're just using this one radio, we'll switch.
Wind 080 at 03. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 09 Celsius. Dew point -04 Celsius. Altimeter 3018.
Okay, 3018. And the wind's kind of shifted a little bit, it's only 3 knots, but it's out of the east now. So we could set up and use runway 5. Why don't we do that? Aim towards the sugar beet factory, and that'll be our base leg to runway 5.
Okay.
Anyway, now I'll tell you what, keep going towards the airport. So we'll kind of enter a left downwind for runway 5. We'll make an announcement. Go ahead and make the announcement. We're 5 miles west-northwest. Inbound landing runway 5 at Scottsbluff.
Scottsbluff traffic, Pacer 26 Delta, 5 miles to the northwest, inbound for landing runway 5, Scottsbluff.
Good. I can hear the side tone on that one.
You heard it?
I can hear you talking through the... Could you hear yourself?
I could on that one, yeah.
Alright. Must be just something on my side. Or it could be something with this headset, I don't know. Okay, and of course as you're entering, coming into the traffic pattern area to enter the downwind, we'll descend down to 5,000 feet. The whole time on the way in, we're looking around and seeing if we see any other traffic or birds. Yeah, I see a flock of snow geese right there?
Oh, yeah.
They're down low, though, so we'll be overhead. Yeah, there's quite a few snow geese around right now. I've seen some flocks of snow geese that were the size of a quarter section of ground. Well, yeah. Okay, go ahead and turn that downwind. This is kind of a weird angle, but
Scottsbluff traffic, Pacer 26 Delta on downwind, runway 5, Scottsbluff.
okay, go ahead and reduce your power. Basically back to mostly straight up. Current heat on, and that should set you up close to 1,500 RPM. That's about what it'll take. And then maintain 5,000 feet. Kind of trim yourself up because your target is 80. for the approach. And then you get into the flap range, you can go ahead and add 1 notch of flaps. There you go. Pitching for 80. Okay, start a left turn. Base leg, there you go. Now you got your 80, and then you can get yourself trimmed up so it holds it nice for you. Then you use your power to control your descent rate. So if you're getting low early, which this is looking real good, so I think you're in good shape. Okay, now I see some trucks off to the right side there on that taxiway. See them there down at the end of the runway?
Yep.
So we'll keep an eye on them. Make sure they don't pull some kind of screwy deal. Turn that strobe back on, or that beacon back on. When you turn final, you can make another announcement when you turn final. Know what they're doing. Okay, yeah, go ahead and make your turn to final.
Scottsbluff traffic, Pacer 26 Delta on final for runway 5, Scottsbluff.
Let's be repainting something. There you go, full flaps. Okay. Trim accordingly to hold the speed you want. And then using your power to control your descent rate. There you go, nice. So all the time you use your pitch to control your speed. Maintain that 80. Don't get slow up here. I'm gonna wait till you get down a little bit lower and then let it start to slow down. Okay, now you can gently start to let it slow down. While you're bringing the power back, hold that nose up. There you go. Alright. Now just let her slow on down. Tell you what, use the brakes. Let's go ahead and taxi down to runway 12. So here's a turn off right here for that. If you got any brakes left. Remember, it pulls a little to the right. Alright. Very nice. Turn that carburetor heat off. Now that you're clear of all runways, but you're taxiing to runway 12.
Scottsbluff traffic, Pacer 26 Delta, clear runway 5, taxiing to runway 12, Scottsbluff.
Very good. See what those guys are doing. They're just sitting there burning.
Scottsbluff traffic. Scottsbluff ground, be crossing the approaching to runway 5.
That's them, isn't it?
Yep, that's them. Wondering how long they just sit there.
However long their timesheet gives them.
Helicopter leaving the south-southwest. They'll be coming by the south side of the airport, trying to follow the river.
Actually heard that one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, did you? What coming through your speaker feeding down through the basically through our microphone?
Well, I guess that's possible.
Might be, but it sounds good. That works.
Cover ground, clear all runway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's in the headset.
There you go. You can open that little side vent too. But when we're taxiing around the ground, in the summertime, man, we'll have the windows open, we'll have the door open, we'll have everything open around the ground. And but this little window, like I've got mine open, with some air, fresh air coming in, you can do the same thing on yours. So when you're over in London, I mean, I can assume you were in London, right?
London once and Birmingham the second one.
Okay, alright. You end up getting any time to go goof off and sightsee at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? That's cool.
Yeah, and that's been my 4th trip over there in the past 15 months or something. So
Oh yeah,
I've had time to go see all the cool stuff.
Well, that's good.
Or at least some of it. London's huge.
Yeah.
It's beyond big.
Massive city, huh? Okay.
Hold short, or are we going?
Yeah, we'll get it all cleaned up ready, get your trim set, flaps are set, mix your set, carb heat's off, they're ready to go, and make your announcement.
Scottsbluff traffic, Pacer 26 Delta, departing runway 12, Scottsbluff.
Alright, close your little side window. Full power, center line. Start a general rotation at 60. There you go. And it'll start to fly off here around, well, 75. Oops, stupid birds. That little, whatever it was, Starling or whatever, he had a death wish, didn't he?
I just saw the shadow. I looked down to look at the airspeed for 1 second.
Yeah. He was trying to go through our front. Yeah, he missed. I got some stuff to make some sun visors for this thing.
Yeah.
Put a phone across, right up here. Across is attached by clamps with some plastic visors.
I was watching the video from the last time we were up. I had sunglasses. They were on my, they were up here the whole time. I was like,
Okay, left turn.
idiot.
Okay, now roll out. So we're perpendicular to the runway. We want a nice square pattern, a rectangle pattern, I mean. Extend out here a little ways, and we'll start our downwind. Yeah, I forgot to double check our DG while we were on the runway. Go ahead and turn now, downwind.
It's pretty close.
212. Level off at 5,000 feet.
Alliance 73496, 1 mile final for 17 Alliance.
There you go. Yeah, that's pretty close actually on that DG. So the one thing you can do if you got your DG set, you can really use it to help you knowing exactly where you are in relationship to the runway. Setting the runway either on your tail or on your right side, left side, etc. and then on your nose.
I actually was.
Okay,
That
good.
one on, at least
Good.
for
Pretty crosswind and base and downwind. It's pretty handy. Give you a good idea, but then you use your visual reference to the runway to compensate for the wind to give you that rectangular pattern. So at least using your DG will get you close. Especially in case you lose track of where the runway is, you glance at that, kind of know where to start your turn.
right.
Or stop your turn. Okay, being the numbers, power back, basically about straight up, then you can carburetor heat on, hold the 5,000 and start trimming for 80. When you get into the flap range, you can add your first notch of flaps. Okay, now stay at 5,000 feet till you get clear back to 80. Let's start your turn to base. There you go, nice. While we're on base leg here, we look at final approach, make sure nobody's coming in. We're getting a little bit low out here. Just give it just a little bit of power in that, like 100 RPM. There you go. That should kind of arrest that descent rate just a little bit to extend our glide. As you turn final, you can make your announcement.
Scottsbluff traffic, Pacer 26 Delta, turning final, runway 12, Scottsbluff.
Okay, go full flaps. Then get yourself trimmed up as need be to hold your 80. Bring a little bit of power off. See that we're going to be high. So ease that power back off. Aim for those 1,000-foot markers, the big, huge weight stripes. 1,000-foot markers. Kind of find that spot where they stay in the same place as the windshield as you're coming down. If they're getting low in the windshield or going out of sight, then we're bringing a little power off so we can keep it coming down. There you go. But never be tempted to dive for it or pull the nose up. You want to maintain the exact same airspeed. Control that descent rate with the power. And if you're sinking real fast coming into the runway, then you would just add a little bit of power to stop that descent rate as you're coming in getting ready to touch down. Okay, now just ease it to idle at the same time holding that nose up. There you go, keep yourself, oh wow. Shoot, man, what is this?
That was a good one. How much were you on the rudders?
I didn't touch them. In fact, I was just getting ready to start to reach up, and then we touched down. I was like, oh, well, that do nothing. That was perfect, man. We don't have enough runway to take back off of us. Let's taxi back down. We can taxi down runway 5, so we switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
You can turn off up here at Echo or whatever that is. Good job, man. What kind of time you got?
Do another one.
Okay.
Before the wife starts to freak out.
We're gonna have to work on her and get her to go for a ride.
Yeah. I said last fall I brought her and my little girl and my mother-in-law out here just to see the plane after playing a softball tournament out there. And she just started getting cold sweats just looking at it.
Oh, shoot. Nice.
Scottsbluff traffic, Pacer 26 Delta, clear runway 12, taxi to runway 5, Scottsbluff.
You can turn your curb heat up too. There you go. And the reason why we do that on the ground is because the curb heat is it's bypassing the filter and it's drawing the air directly from over by the muffler shroud. So it's drawing in warm air, but at the same time, if there's any dirt or anything, which there's not going to be much, but any dirt and stuff that's blowing up around there, it'll end up blowing through there and sucking that through the carburetor. So if you're on a unimproved strip or someplace where there's just a lot of sand and gravel or dirt or whatever, that's when you got to be real careful about the carb heat, just because we don't want to suck that through the motor. Yeah, looks like a couple of little snow drifts left.
Hate those things.
There's fighting to the very end.
Yeah. What are you taking to Denver later?
210 from over Torrington. It's got in the right wing a couple places where the fuel started to ooze through the skin of the wing, and somebody tried putting Pro Seal on it to stop it. I was like, well, that's not how you fix this. But we're going to get an estimate from Straight Flight down at Centennial. Anyway, they've done some structural repairs and whatnot, and they do really good work. But in order to give us an accurate estimate, they need to actually see the airplane. So we're going to take it down there so they can look at it.
It's not going to be cheap.
Nope. There's a good chance I may have to reskin the bottom of the wing, at least from the fuselage out to the first seam. Yeah.
How old's the airplane?
77, I think. But it's a wet wing design, so there's inside the tank area is the inside of the wing. It's just been sealed up. And what had happened is at some point that the sealer in there had cracked a little bit, allowed some moisture to get in there, and it caused things to start to corrode. And now it's corroded down through the wing. So that's not good. But that's kind of a common issue with some of these airplanes that have the wet wings. Yeah, you better think about moving out of the way. He ain't too smart.
Those are little kamikaze birds.
Yeah, they are.
When I'm driving to Denver down from Kimball, like through Fort Morgan, down there, I've hit several of them with my car.
Yeah.
Altitude 4,300. Highling Field, Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Automated weather observation 1646 Zulu. Wind 130 at 04. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 12 Celsius. Dew point -04 Celsius. Altimeter 3018. Remarks.
Okay, make your announcement, taking off 5.
Scottsbluff traffic, Pacer 26 Delta, departing runway 5, Scottsbluff.
I don't know where that other Skyhawk was going. I haven't heard him say anything. He's still sitting there. Okay. Okay, 500 feet, start your turn. Okay, turn your downwind. Level off here at 5,000 feet.
Scottsbluff traffic, Skyhawk 5753 is on level, crossing runway 5 at 23. Scottsbluff.
Hey, now since you're on the left downwind, runway 5.
Scottsbluff traffic, Pacer 26 Delta, downwind for runway 5, Scottsbluff.
Yeah, that Skyhawk, you got special cameras in there, they do all that aerial mapping.
Scottsbluff traffic, Skyhawk 5753 is clear, runway 5 at 23.
Okay, compensate a little to the right so you don't get too close to the runway. And give yourself room to be able to make your turn face the final. Okay, seeing the numbers, you can start your slowing down and bring the power back. Carburetor heat on. Hold altitude until you can slow down to flap range and then your first notch of flaps. Yeah, there's a little change up with the wind. Down lower it's coming out of the east, up here it's coming out of the west a little bit. But we don't even really feel it though, even climbing. A lot of times when there's a switch like that, you'll feel the, as you pass through that change, you'll feel it. And I don't really feel it. Okay, start your turn to base. .
5
Now, as you can see, since we're a little bit closer in, and still at 5,000 feet, we're going to get things up. He's going to take a little less power to get down, so that's okay. You can compensate for it. So you just bring off, yeah, right there. That looks good. Just hold that there. Maintain your 85, 80. You just look at that position. That's a 1,000-foot marker on the runway there. Now start your turn to final.
Scottsbluff traffic, Pacers 26 Delta on final, runway 5, Scottsbluff.
And as you use your ailerons to turn, use your rudder also to help you complete that turn. But you're doing a lot better with that. With full flaps. Bring that power on off there because we're pretty high. You know, a steep approach here. Bring it clear to idle. If it isn't already. There you go. Then hold that 85. You can start to let it slow up. Hold that nose up though. As we're getting down here a little bit lower, a little closer. A little bit closer. There we go. All the way to idle.
Tested out the struts on that one.
There you go. And use your brakes. That wasn't bad. Little more brake. Oh well, that's alright. We'll cross over. That's okay.
I got it. So there's no taxiway out here, right?
No, no taxiway, so just pull a U-turn. Okay, taxi on back, and we'll
just cross over, right?
Yeah, just cross over.
Scottsbluff traffic, Pacer 26 Delta, crossing runway 3012, Scottsbluff.
There you go, good job. Making announcements of what you're doing. And we'll turn off of a Bravo. Yeah, with that change up in the winds, where they're pushing us in closer and pushing us towards the runway, getting there quicker, but then once we drop down, then the wind's shifted slightly.
Yeah.
And to where it actually favors this runway, so it's kind of a strange day. Takes a little more work to manage the power to get you down where you need to be.
I got a little high on downwind too. Just put us a little higher.
Yeah.
Scottsbluff traffic, Pacer 26 Delta, clear all runways, Scottsbluff. Scottsbluff traffic, Star 5753 is taking the exit, runway 12, northbound departure, Scottsbluff.
Okay, yeah, carburetor heat off. And you got that already cleaned up. Very good.
So are you going to fly that 210 back today, or you're going to leave it there?
We'll probably leave it there. I mean, actually, no, we're going to fly it back. We'll just go down and have them check things out, because I'm sure they can't start right away, and we don't have a good estimate yet. So... have him.
Scottsbluff traffic, Skyhawk 5753 is on the upwind left to the north.
TSA doesn't like us cutting across there. Like, well, I don't know why I put that dumb thing right there.
Say, what is that?
That's their idea of an indicator of where the corner of the protected area is, and maybe we'll go around the outside of it. I don't know, it's stupid. Most people don't have a clue what it is, which I didn't have an idea what it is. I'd go ask. Like, I never seen anything that quite this retarded looking before. What is this?
Traffic Sky 5753 is turning left to the north from runway 12.
All right.